said?
Implied.
You clapped when I got it. If I hadn't gotten it, what would you have said?
I never knew you were a mind reader now.
Can you imagine?
A mind reader. I implied. I asked you a simple question. Can you imagine?
When?
Can you imagine?
I know you.
Women.
Even more than you know yourself.
Women.
You can be very assured.
Somebody will say only one thing. You interpret it in 10 ways.
No, I know you.
Women.
I know you. Even before you know. I know you. My name is Oluwatoyin Odeyemi, and with what's his name again, sir?
The handsome Bobo. His name is Benga Famino. Oluwagbemiga Detokunbo Omo Papa Famino. It's another beautiful Saturday morning. Yes. Yes. And right now, all kinds of Owambe again.
The town is it blue, green, red?
How would you imagine a Saturday without Owambe?
I don't know. It will be as if
in this part of the world.
It will be as if the one that I said.
Can you imagine?
Is it that one burial, wedding, housewarming, naming ceremony? What thing will happen? Birthday? Well,
maybe that was why Nigeria was rated the happiest country in the world some times ago. You remember it happened? Yes. That's the best time to visit Nigeria is a Saturday.
Not even a Saturday. Any day. When the Queen died, Queen Elizabeth died.
Imagine what some Nigerians are doing. Taking Ankara.
I'm telling you.
And come to think of that. Yes, come to think of that. The issue of the Ankara, and we are supposed to be there now.
Who are the we?
Okay, I'm supposed to be there.
Who would it be?
Representing all OSBC. You got it. I'm supposed to be part of the ceremony.
Everybody will go to be the general for OSBC.
No, I can arrange that one or two persons will go with him. We go with him.
Okay, my director will go with.
But in case I include Toyin's name.
No, my name will not be included.
No, wait. In case I include Toyin's name, you have to make a promise that you come back.
What will I go and be doing there?
Oh. In case your name is included among those who will go for the Queen's burial, you have to make a promise that you will come back.
It's not my first time. It won't be my first time of traveling out.
That you will come back.
I don't like stress.
All right.
I don't like cold and all that. So
all right.
Definitely I'll come back. But then, instead of me going, my director, Dupe Akinyemi, will be selected to go. Gladly, yeah.
All right.
To go and represent us.
Okay.
I should do justice to that.
I hope you know that's a serious question.
What question?
That why will people be, taking Ashebi for the Queen's burial, something like that?
We are Nigerians now.
Nigeria, an independent country.
We love to play. Ashebi,
so are we still being colonized? That's the question.
We are not still being colonized. Are we free?
All right. It's food for thought.
Are we free?
It's food for thought.
We are still that. Indirectly?
No.
Or directly?
I don't believe that. I counter that.
Okay.
I counter that.
All right.
So
not totally free.
I counter that. Now we can make even today. Maybe by the time we'll be having the burial, we'll make sure that the special delicacy on breakfast tray will reflect English food, right?
Definitely we do have it. We've been featuring English foods now. Like what? They don't have any food. What kind of food? Salad, right? They eat our normal food now. They eat rice, they eat yam, they eat vegetable. Yes.
I know. So what do you have in the tray this morning?
They don't eat swallow. That's the only difference. But they eat veggies, they eat beef and all that. So it's not just what's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Now what do we have in the tray this morning? What do we have?
Right, our tray is full. I'm telling you, we have just 1 hour to feature all this. We have beauty tips, we have kitchen corner, we have entertainment gist, foreign corner, etiquette, business trend, and voice pop. Before we take our first segment this morning, we on what Patient Safety Day was is it today or yesterday that
safety of patients.
Yeah.
Patients in the hospital.
It's a thing of concern to so many people all over the world. I had an experience I don't really want to recount of recent.
Because there are incidences in hospitals that can beat one's imaginations at times.
And you wonder, what is this really an hospital?
Forgetting scissors in somebody's body, forgetting a surgical tool in somebody's body, carelessness on the part of the operatives, lackadaisical attitudes, and things like that. So talking about these patients of safety of patients, there is a particular day in the year all over the world that becomes a subject of concern that everybody talks about, with the aim of improving on our healthcare services, healthcare delivery. So well, I think it's a good thing to do, that on a particular day everybody reflects on that. And in Nigeria, where we are clamoring for improvement, we appreciate the efforts of the governor of our dear state, his attention to primary health care services. But with whatever the government is doing, I think when we talk about safety of patients, I think we are talking more about attitudes, right? Attitudes on the part of operatives, even maybe patients too.
It's all encompassing.
It's all encompassing, yes.
The patient, the infrastructure, the medication, the healthcare givers, the doctors.
Where a doctor gives a piece of advice and the patient will not obey.
Obeys.
And how many people are guilty? I think many people are guilty of this. For instance, when doctor says, Tony, use your medication for 3 days or for 5 days, Tony will use it for 3 days, and the next thing she will be saying is, Benga, I'm better, I'm okay.
The names of the word, the story that you can mention.
I'm actually remembering some of my experiences. I'm okay, Benga, leave me alone. I'm okay. I'm okay, I'm fine. Is it because you're okay? You don't have to finish your medication?
No, I do finish my medication.
She will not complete the medication. And when it comes to injections, she could be so afraid.
In real life or your dream life?
She could be so afraid of taking injections.
Is it in real life or your dream life?
I'm talking about Toyin.
Which Toyin?
Toyin.
Which Toyin?
The one I'm talking to.
Really? I was guessing maybe it's your dream life. Yeah. Anyway.
Complete obedience to the doctors.
All right. This
is important.
Topic is medication safety. They are dwelling much on medication.
I said so.
Misdiagnosing.
I said it.
The likes.
I said it.
What? You said what?
Okay, that was misdiagnosing, right? Okay, wrong diagnosis.
Wrong diagnosis.
And what about disobedience to prescriptions? It's part of it.
Everything that borders on health that is done wrongly.
So, Tony, please don't do it again. Don't do it again.
No, I love myself. I don't
be
want
obedient.
I don't take my medication.
So,
but what of when you get to the hospital and you get to meet the caregivers and the way they treat patients, you wonder if they really are trained, especially government hospitals.
Okay.
You wonder. We were discussing about this 2 or 3 days ago, and somebody came up in their defense that maybe because they are short-staffed, they have maybe 2 personnel to maybe like 10 patients or 15 patients.
So in terms of attitude,
they are tired, they are annoyed, they are angry. So transferred aggression is there, definitely is there. So once a patient is not cooperating with them, they sit on the side of that caregiver. And I was in an hospital very close to this place of recent. When you got there, the attitude of those caregivers, I was like, wow, so we can get an hospital in this part of the world that can treat people this way.
Private?
Private. Their courtesy. Welcome, ma. How are you, ma? Please sit down, ma. What do you want, ma? Who do you want to see, ma? Okay, ma. It's your turn, ma. Okay, sir. It's your turn, sir. Sorry. Are you comfortable? I was amazed.
Well, somebody will be quick to say that living condition in Nigeria is not quite good. So pressure left, right, and center, that affects people's attitudes.
Psychologically,
that's of course, that the morale is quite low, and that's why delivery can be affected. In a way, one can say that person somehow may not be entirely wrong, But if one looks at it in another way, I think one may easily argue that even when you go to the advanced societies, are they not human beings? Don't they also have issues?
They do.
Everybody has issues. But maybe sometimes it has to do with the value system. I mean, of course, we see all kinds of jokes we make in Nigeria. The difference between Nigerian police, but it's like that one's changing. Nigerian police and police officers in advanced societies, where a policeman can easily give you some terrible slaps. Yeah.
Brutality and all that.
That same way, I also remember a video now that shows the difference between how patients take injection in Nigeria and how they take injection over there. That you won't even know anything has touched you.
But here, the anger will be transferred.
About 6 men will hold. About 6 men holding one patient.
It's not even about. Day before I was supposed to take an injection.
Yes.
As soon as I saw the needle, I sighted the needle. I told them, turn it to oral.
And you said I was not telling the truth the other time.
I told them to turn it to oral. I don't want injection again.
So what's your problem with injection?
As soon as I started it, I was like,
seriously, is that the way it runs everywhere in the world anyway?
No,
that's scary needle.
The lady said, okay, let me send you
that's scary needle.
I said, if you don't do 1.5, I'm not taking it again. Let me take.
I think the scare most patients express is more psychological. That's you mean you want to put this thing inside my body?
It's like if they want to draw blood, and you know me see the needle entering my hand as a landline bano, turn it to oral for me. I don't want to take any injection again. So all what they're advocating for is that is what patient safety day. We should treat ourselves, we should treat our patients, we should make all things available. If government hospitals, the government is doing their best they can, and private also, we should treat our patients.
I think the aspects of self-medication should not be forgotten. We need to avoid it.
Well,
seriously, we need to avoid it.
Avoid it.
Self-medication. Doctors always advise that no matter what, make sure you talk to your doctors.
Avoid that.
We will just
when you get to the hospital and they give you the bills are like 10k, and they know that when they go to the over the counter, they with 1.5 they can get what they want.
Well, whether we like it or not,
even if it's the wrong medicine they are getting,
we can continue to disobey doctors' advice to our detriment.
It doesn't.
And so doctors are doing their own part.
We are doing our own part to educate them.
So it's not the fault of doctors.
If I have that 10,000, I will eat out of it. I will take my medication and do.
That doesn't concern a doctor. He has done his own. Yeah. The advice is don't self-medicate. Contact your doctor no matter what. Speak to your doctor.
You all liars. Don't you do self-medication?
Just like lawyers would render services pro bono, doctors do it. Of course.
So you have never done medication before?
I talk to my doctor friends, and they don't charge me.
Sure, Goshe.
Doctor friends who talk on phone. This is what is happening to me.
Had they been able to charge you 5k?
That's an indication that there are ways to go about things.
Freebies.
Hey!
Beg you, brother.
Don't worry. Next time you need my help, I'll remember to charge you. Say something else.
You charge me. You know you cannot.
That is beggy. Is that a beggy?
It's very different from yours. So.
Is that a beggy?
No.
Now, a very quick one. What do you think about the weather right now?
The weather is beautiful.
It's beautiful, but it's like it's changing little by little. It used to be very cold. So it's not getting so cold anymore.
Even if you notice the day, I think we are shorter day, longer nights.
Then I think it's good we remind our people about the prediction that there'll be in the next coming days or thereabouts, we'll be having more of downpours, and Osun is usually one of the places affected.
I'm sure the government is taking proactive measures.
And our people should remember that it's become a culture in this part of the country now that we don't pour refuse on waterways. Cleanliness is very, very important.
They know that.
Yes.
I think they caught some maybe last year or so. So those ones knew that.
That's it.
They'll be used as deterrent to all that. So
that's it.
I know that people will not do that. And the government is proactive. They are dredging rivers and all that. So, and I'm sure as they're hearing us, they will still take that up. Now, let's take our first segment. Let's take Voice Pop, and it's concerned what we have discussed on this morning.
People's opinion on the streets.
Yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to Vox Pop segment on Breakfast Tree. I am Balikis Bello. We'll be discussing on how can a patient be safe through medical treatment.
Musimola Akanji. The way people can be safe from self-medication. Yeah, there are many ways people can be safe from self-medication. By organizing sensitization program that we enlighten people on what they should do. Self-medication is very common in our society now. Like in most homes, everybody has paracetamol or Panadol. When you complain of headache, they will just tell you, take this paracetamol, take 2, take 3 and use it, you will be relieved. Meanwhile, it's not all headache that paracetamol can cure. Most times, like headache is one of the symptoms of malaria, and most times when you have typhoid too, headache, you can be having headache too. In that case, when you are having malaria and they tell you to use paracetamol, the paracetamol cannot stop you from having the malaria again. It cannot eradicate the malaria. It can only suppress that headache for the main time, maybe for that day alone. The second day again, when you wake up or when you keep doing what you're doing, you keep having the headache, which is very dangerous. People should try and go to hospitals. Like when you feel something is not right about your health, go to hospital, make complaints to the doctors or anybody you feel they know about pharmaceutical stuff. Let them know how you're feeling. Maybe they will advise you to go and run for a test, or okay, run for this test. Let's know what is wrong with your body system before we can tell you what to use. Okay, when you go for the test, maybe malaria test, okay, they can tell you you're having malaria, or general tests, maybe you're having typhoid. Then they will know the drugs they will administer for you. Not you sitting down at home and being like, okay, this headache is because of the stress, it's because of accumulated stress that I have. It will not be so. Using the Yoruba people, we say ori bibe kologun ori fifo. You can't be using paracetamol when you have typhoid or you have malaria and thinking you can cure it. It's not possible. That's number one. Then number two, after the program, maybe the medical experts should go out, let the people know you can't treat yourself at home. We all have our lines of profession. Like I'm an art student, you can't expect me to know about medicine stuffs. I can't know it. It's not possible. It's not my own line. Before I can do anything in that line, I have to seek the advice of the medical experts. I will go to them. I'm having a headache. My hands is paining me. My leg is paining me. I'm having body pain. What should I use? You can't say. There may be many underlying ailments in your body system that yourself don't know. But when you go for the test, they will be able to tell you this is what's wrong with your body system. You're having typhoid. You're having this. You're having that. And they will give you appropriate drug to be fine. Then people sitting at home, when doctor give you advice, use 2 of this drug. You sit down, let me use 4 so that it can cure immediately. It's very risky. You are doing wrong thing to your body system. So by doing that, let people know, the medical expert or anybody can even do it. Even on this program, can let people know. Don't sit down at home and treat yourself. You go to doctors, let them know how you're feeling, let them treat what you are going through. Complain to them, make complaints, go out to them, let them know. Number 2, it's not every normal people that are doing the self-medication stuff. Some people, because they want to work or overwork themselves, maybe their work is stressful, they okay, let me take trams to be fine or to be able to work very well. And we all know the disadvantages of these things. If you take that kind of drug to be okay or to work very well, after the work, there are many things that will happen to our body system that is not advised. The medical experts or people in medical line, they have many things to do on this aspect. When people go to them, and there are many hospitals too, especially it's very common in our societies. Some people will be laboring, they want to give birth. Most nurses will take the advantages and insult them. Most of these nurses have not even go through these things. You don't know how it feels. You don't know what they are feeling. But you think because you are the one that can save their life that time, you start treating them like a fool. And what's wrong with you? All those stuffs. Well, what are you going through that somebody have not go through before? Keep quiet. Somebody in labor, somebody in pain that you are supposed to be caring for, that you are supposed to be your concern at that moment. You should know what you should do at that moment to make sure she's fine. It's very common in our hospitals these days. We really need to sensitize people in medical line too. All those things are uncalled for. It's all shades of wrong. They should know what they are doing. They should treat their patient. Some people may be scared of going to the hospital in that way that, okay, if I tell the nurses that I'm having a headache now, they may reply me wrongly. They may say something else which I cannot be pleased with. So the people in medical line are very concerned in these aspects. They have to know what they are doing. They should be up and doing in discharging their duties and all.
My name is Daniel Ikwere. How can a patient be safe through medical treatment? The basic idea administering medical aid to any individual who is indisposed or sick is for that person to get better. The major aim of every doctor, nurse, or every medical practitioner is that they want to enhance the livelihood of people. And the way they can do that is by administering medications and drugs that can actually help situations when it arises. For a diabetic patient, or for a patient with cancer, or for a patient with asthma, there are various or different type of medications or drugs which can be administered to them to be able to help or to be able to cure that particular illness. So through medical treatment, it kind of like makes medicine work in the sense that it helps the patient to get better and also helps the doctor to have like broader knowledge on a particular illness. In situations where there is lack of professionalism on the side of the medical practitioners or the nurses or the doctors, there's a place of being, as a medical practitioner, there's no place of judgment. You don't need to chastise your patient. You just need to show them care and administer treatments which will be able to solve the cases that have been brought forward to you as a medical practitioner.
Musimola Akanji. The way people can be saved from self-medication. Yeah, there are many ways people can be saved from self-medication. By organizing sensitization program that we enlighten people on what they should do. Self-medication is very common in our society now. Like in most homes, everybody has paracetamol or Panadol. When you complain of headache, they will just tell you, take this paracetamol, take 2, take 3 and use it, you will be relieved. Meanwhile, it's not all headache that paracetamol can cure. Most times, like headache is one of the symptoms of malaria, and most times when you have typhoid too, headache, you can be having headache too. In that case, when you are having malaria and they tell you to use paracetamol, the paracetamol cannot stop you from having the malaria again. It cannot eradicate the malaria. It can only suppress that headache for the meantime, maybe for that day alone. The second day again, when you wake up or when you keep doing what you're doing, you keep having the headache, which is very dangerous. People should try and go to hospitals. Like when you feel something is not right about your health, go to hospital, make complaints to the doctors or anybody you feel they know about pharmaceutical stuff. Let them know how you're feeling. Maybe they will advise you to go and run for a test, or okay, run for this test. Let's know what is wrong with your body system before we can tell you what to use. Okay, when you go for the test, maybe malaria test, okay, they can tell you you're having malaria, or general tests, maybe you're having typhoid. Then they will know the drugs they will administer for you. Not you sitting down at home and being like, okay, this headache is because of the stress, it's because of accumulated stress that I have. It may not be so. Using the Yoruba people, we say ori bibe kologun ori fifo. You can't be using paracetamol when you have typhoid or you have malaria and thinking you can cure it. It's not possible. That's number one. Then number two, after the program, maybe the medical experts should go out, let the people know you can't treat yourself at home. We all have our lines of profession. Like I'm an art student, you can't expect me to know about medicine stuffs. I can't know it. Is not possible. It's not my own line. Before I can do anything in that line, I have to seek the advice of the medical experts. I will go to them. I'm having a headache, my hands is paining me, my leg is paining me, I'm having body pain. What should I use? You can't say. There may be many underlying ailments in your body system that yourself don't know, but when you go for the test, they will be able to tell you this is what's wrong with your body system. You're having typhoid, you're having this, you're having that, and they will give you appropriate drug to be fine. Then people sitting at home, when doctor give you advice, use 2 of this drug, you sit down, let me use 4 so that it can cure immediately. It's very risky. You are doing wrong thing to your body system. So by doing that, let people know, the medical expert or anybody can even do it. Even on this program, can let people know. Don't.
All right, yeah, thank you, Velikis, there on Verse Pop. Still talking on World Patient Safety Day. Thank you so much for that, and for those that have lent their voice to the topic at hand. All right, about now we go to Foreign Corner. Let's see what's around the world.
Good morning. Welcome to Foreign Corner segment on Breakfast Tree. First, the headlines. Chinese delegation banned from lying in state. Ukraine says mass grave found in freed city Izium. US judge picked to review seized Trump files. I'm alive because of God. Argentine VP Kachner on failed gun attack. VGPM's son charged with domestic violence in Australia. I am Elijah Oyemi. The news in details. Chinese delegation banned from lying in state. A Chinese government delegation has been banned from attending the lying in state of Queen Elizabeth II. House of Commons Speaker Sir Lindsay Hall refused a request for access to Westminster Hall due to Chinese sanctions against 5 MPs and 2 peers, Political Force reported. Queen Elizabeth is set to lie in state there until her funeral on Monday. Last year, China imposed travel bans and asset freezes on 9 Britons, including 7 parliamentarians, for accusing Beijing of mistreating Uyghur Muslims. That led to China's ambassador to the UK being banned from parliament, a move which has now been extended to a delegation that wanted to pay their respect at Queen Elizabeth lying in state. UK-China relations are already strained, and this ban is unlikely to help. However, China's vice president is expected to attend Monday's state funeral, which will be held across the road from Parliament at Westminster Abbey. Several Western countries have imposed sanctions on officials in China following right abuse allegations against the mostly Muslim Uyghur minority group. China has detained Uyghurs at camps in the northwest region of Xinjiang, where allegations of torture, forced labor, and sexual abuse have emerged. It has denied the allegations of abuse, claiming the camps are re-education facilities used to combat terrorism. China's President Xi Jinping is on the guest list for the state funeral, but is not thought likely to attend. British officials expect the country will instead be represented by Vice President Wang Qishan. A Downing Street spokesman said it was a convention that countries with which the UK has diplomatic relations should be invited to state funerals. Ukraine says mass grave found in freed city Izium. Ukraine says the mass burial site has been found outside Izium days after the town was retaken from Russia. Hundreds of wooden crosses, most of them marked with numbers, were discovered in a forest outside the town by advancing Ukrainian forces. Authorities said they will start exhuming some of the graves on Friday. It is not yet clear what happened to the victims, but earlier accounts suggest some may have died from shelling and a lack of access to healthcare. There are also signs that some of the graves could belong to Ukrainian soldiers. Izium and a number of other cities in the Kharkiv region were liberated earlier this month during a swift Ukrainian counter-offensive that appeared to have surprised Russian troops and left them unprepared to defend their positions. Ukraine says it has identified more than 21,000 possible war crimes, including killing civilians and rape, committed by Russian troops since President Vladimir Putin ordered a full-scale invasion of the country on 24 February. Investigators and journalists found what appeared to be evidence of the deliberate killings of civilians in Bucha and other nearby areas. Ukrainian forces said they found mass graves and evidence that civilians had been killed after their feet and hands were banned. The International Criminal Court has already sent a team of investigators and forensics experts to Ukraine to investigate this. US President Joe Biden and former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson have both accused Russia of carrying out war crimes in Ukraine. The Russian government has repeatedly denied targeting civilians, accusing Ukraine and the West of fabricating evidence. US judge picked to review seized Trump files. US federal judge Raymond Derry has been chosen to review the files seized in the FBI's search of former US President Donald Trump's Florida home. Mr. Derry, 78, will be special master and decide whether any documents are off limits in any legal proceedings. It had been proposed by Mr. Trump's team, and the US Department of Justice previously said it did not object. The former US President is being investigated for his handling of classified materials. Department of Justice officials previously said that documents stored at Mr. Trump's Florida home were likely to have been concealed as part of an effort to obstruct an FBI investigation. investigation. The authorities say these documents should have been handed over to the National Archives, which US presidents are legally obliged to do upon leaving office. Mr. Trump denies any kind of wrongdoing, arguing that as president he had declassified all the documents and that they were kept safely at his Mar-a-Lago home. The request for a special master, an independent lawyer who decides if any of the records are covered by attorney-client or executive privilege, was made by Mr. Trump's team. Earlier this month, a judge granted Mr. Trump's request and banned the US government for reviewing or using the seized materials for its investigation until the special master's independent review has been completed. On Thursday, US federal judge Arlene Cannon appointed Mr. Derry and also ruled that the Department of Justice was not allowed to resume the file's review. The department had earlier said it would take the case to an appeals court if Judge Cannon ruled against their request. It means the Justice Department's ongoing criminal investigation will now be slowed down because the government cannot review or seize materials for its investigation until the special master's review has been completed. The Department of Justice resisted Mr. Trump's request, saying that any presidential records seized in the FBI's 8 August search of Mar-a-Lago belong to the United States, not to the former president. It is not clear how long the special master's review will take. Mr. Trump's lawyers have argued some of the documents are covered by attorney-client privilege, a part of US law that allows people to keep conversations with their lawyers private. His legal team have also claimed executive privilege over the documents, which allows president to keep certain communications under wraps. However, some legal experts argue that these moves are merely a tack to delay proceedings since the documents have already been looked at. I'm alive because of God. Argentine VP Kirchner on failed gun attack. Argentina's Vice President Cristina Fernández de Kirchner, who survived an assassination attempt after a gunman weapon jammed, has said she is alive because of God and the Virgin Mary. In her first public comments since the 1st September attack in Buenos Aires, she also revealed that Pope Francis called her the very next day to comfort her. Bernardo Sabag Montiel, 35, and his girlfriend Bredan Uliat, 23, have been charged with attempted murder. They both deny any involvement. Speaking at a meeting with priests and nuns on Thursday, Ms. Fernández de Kirchner, 69, said, "I feel that I'm alive because of God and the Virgin Mary. So it seems to me that if I have to thank God and the Virgin Mary, I have to do it surrounded by priests." She also expressed gratitude to the Pope, a fellow Argentine, for calling her just hours after the failed attack. The incident happened as Ms. Fernández de Kirchner greeted supporters outside her home. A small crowd had gathered to show its backing for the vice president, who is currently on trial for corruption, when a man pointed a handgun at her head. The moment was captured on video. The gun did not fire, but Argentina's president Alberto Fernández later said it has been loaded with 5 bullets. President Fernández described it as the most serious incident since the return of democracy in 1983. Fernando Sabag Montiel, who was born in Brazil but has lived in Argentina since he was a child, was arrested at the scene minutes after the incident. His girlfriend was detained several days later. Investigators are still trying to establish the motive behind the attack of Ms. Fernández de Kirchner, a left-wing politician who, while immensely popular with her supporters, has alienated many during her years as one of Argentina's most influential politicians. Before she became vice president in 2019, she served as Argentina's president from 2007 to 2015 and as first lady from 2003 to 2007. VGPM's son charged with domestic violence in Australia. The son of Fijian Prime Minister Frank Bainimarama has been charged with a string of domestic violence offences in Australia. Ratumeli Bainimarama, 36, is facing 17 charges including stalking, assault and choking. He's also accused of damaging property and distributing an intimate image without consent. Mr. Bainimarama has not entered a plea but will rely on his good character in any defense, his lawyer said. The offences allegedly took place in Sydney between February and May, but Mr. Bainimarama was arrested last week after a police report was made earlier this month. The Fijian National's lawyer has successfully applied for a nationwide suppression order on the case over the weekend. They had argued there was a risk information that wouldn't be allowed in court will be published and prejudice a jury. But the magistrate lifted the suppression order on Friday morning, saying there was nothing extraordinary about the case that warrants secrecy. Mr. Bainimarama has been granted bail and his matter is due back in court on October 13. He is the only son of Frank Bainimarama, who has been in power since 2007 after leading a military coup the year before. The case comes at an awkward time for the politician who will face another PM, Sitivena Rabuka, in an election later this year. And that will be all on Foreign Corner segment. Breakfast Straight continues.
Yeah, thank you for that trip.
Yes, a trip. I like you used the right word. Trip. Yeah, that's a trip. And just to add a little, yesterday, last night, as part of the protocols, the siblings, the children of grandchildren anyway, of the late queen. They kept a vigil last night through this morning. They kept a vigil.
It's traditional.
Yes, but there was this aspect of the vigil that caught my attention. For 15 minutes, they will be required to be on their feet. So not 1 minute silence, but 15 minutes silence.
It's the queen.
Yes, it's the queen. And finally, the part that really touches me is the Oyinbos that we think they are so sophisticated, was up. They care a lot about tradition.
Definitely.
Whereas we treat our own traditions here
as
like, yes, use the right word, thank you, trash. As mess, as
the
rubbish.
Igbos are conservative. Some of them are conservative, and they take such things to heart. It's tradition, and it must not be derailed.
It is true that one of the finest ways to destroy some people, or to destroy a human being, is remove his culture. Convince him that his culture is useless. So, and in this part of the world, I mean...
Well, that would be good for the blacks that want to turn themselves white overnight.
White overnight, yeah, that's true.
Thinking that our culture is bad.
I realize it's like there's hardly any style you want to sew with Ankara today that you cannot.
Oh, wait, I saw a lady.
Well, is it possible with shirt? Can I sew an Ankara shirt and use tie with it?
I saw a lady sew her wedding gown with Ankara.
White gown.
The Ankara is not white. The Ankara is white background with a flowered, is it wine and grain or something?
And it was beautiful?
My goodness. I felt like, doing my wedding. Now, I've always been an Ankara person.
Yes,
so it was, wow, it was beautiful. This is, the husband to use the Ankara as a suit.
Okay.
On white trousers.
Look at that.
So the lady she combined her gown with white chiffon and all that. So it was beautiful. Ghanaian. They are Ghanaian.
We are not proud of our own thing. I saw a picture somebody shared with me that okay, I think I saw it on a platform that as part of the it's a ritual. The entire ceremony is actually a ritual.
Definitely.
As part of the ritual, there was an aspect of the ceremony where a white ram is used.
Yeah. Some said
a white ram is used. So the Igbos are not aliens from another planet. We are all human beings.
Now Oversabi, they worry us.
Oh, thank you, Oversabi.
And they worry us too much in high doses. Now they worry us. All right, because of our time, let's take entertainment gist.
Good morning. This is Entertainment Gist with Olushade Adediro. You're welcome to another segment on Breakfast Tray. As you all know that we bring to you celebrities and we give to you what is happening to them currently, and I say you're welcome. We'll be talking about a few celebrities this morning, and the first persons we're talking about are Thames and Burna Boy. Thames' Free Mind and Burna Boy's Last reached new peaks on Billboard Hot 100. Thames' Free Mind and Burna Boy's Last has reached a new peak on the chart and a continuation of the fine run on the chart. In the charts week dated September 17, 2022, Free Mind moved up 5 places from 61 to 56, thereby extending its run to 8 weeks on the chart. Similarly, Burna Boy's Last moved up 14 places after climbing from 67 to 53 position, thereby extending its stay on the chart to 9 weeks. The performances of Thames and Burna Boy on the chart continue Afrobeat fine run internationally. Both Burna Boy and Thames have played major roles in the ascension of Afrobeat in 2022, as Last has become one of the hottest songs in 2022, while Thames has become one of the most sought after artists from Africa. We say congratulations to them. So the next person on the list, we have reactions to Wizkid's new song. Black Bonnes, Joe Boy, Air Star, and others react to Wizkid's new song. That's Bad to Me. Nigerian music stars Black Black Bonnets, Joe Boy, Arista, and others have expressed their opinion about the new Wizkid song, Bad to Me. The Grammy-nominated Wizkid, who has not released new music since he dropped the debut version of his Made in Lagos album last year, is finally back with an amapiano-infused tune co-produced by ace Nigerian beatmaker P2J and Ghanaian talented producer Sami Soso. Just like the majority of Afrobeat lovers who took to social media to share their thoughts about the song, Black Bonnets, Aya Star, Joe Boy Crayon, and a few others did the same. Chicole City rapper Black Bonnets wrote, "Among this new Wizkid, a singer-songwriter Joe Boy also shared his excitement about the song, accompanied the post with a fire emoji. He wrote, Bad to Me. We say again to Wizkid, congratulations." We're moving to DJ Copy as she assures fans that she's still single despite her Venice trip with hot friend. DJ Copy wants everyone to know that she's still single despite taking the trip to Venice, our incredibly hot friend. The disc jockey took to her social media pages to clear the air after some fans started a conspiracy theory, noting that our sister Temi Otedela got engaged to fiance Mr. Easy. The Jacobi, however, revealed that that's not the case for her because despite looking as good as she does, she still has to wait about ages for silly men to text her back. On her Instagram post, she says, "I see some cupcakes congratulating me. Lorenzo is just a close friend though. I'm still single." That's from DJ Copy. She says, "I look this good, but still have to wait ages for silly men to text back." So if you're single, you can just shoot your shot. The last person on the list, Israel's DMW's fiancée Sheila Courage has disclosed how she met him. "I didn't choose to win his soul, I won his heart. I didn't say so." That's coming from Israel DMW's fiancée Sheila Courage. Singer Davido's personal logistic manager, Israel DMW's fiancée Sheila Courage, just disclosed how she met her fiancé. Ahead of their wedding set to take place in October, Courage wrote out adorable pre-wedding photos with her beau while revealing how they met. According to Israel's fiancé, she met him while out evangelizing and seeking souls for Christ. The bride-to-be expressed her joy at having won a man's heart as well as a soul for God, and she will now be walking down the aisle with him in a few weeks' time. In a word, she says in a quote, "So I met this young, not so gentle man, you get it? While on outreach, and clearly I didn't just win a soul, I got the heart ready to start the adventure called marriage. Let the countdown begin. 22, 10, 22. You get it?" Alright, so on this we wrap it up on Entertainment Gist. Thank you for listening and thank you for joining us on today's segment, Entertainment Gist. Till we meet again next week, I remain Olushade Adediran. Thanks for joining.
Shade for that beautiful entertainment gist. Okay, before we let's take a kitchen corner. Maybe let's.
I like that part.
I
like that part. Be careful, somebody may be outside to pick you up.
On what? That's
for your own interest. Be very, very careful. Mama Jodo, I like that part. Let's get to the kitchen.
Yeah, Andrew is from Resi. Yeah, from Adjo. Same. No,
I reserve my comments.
Don't worry. Good morning, and I welcome you to another beautiful episode of Kitchen Corner on Breakfast Tray. I am Tolulope Ajanaku, your host for the segment. Kitchen Corner is a segment on Breakfast Tray where we bring you different delicacies and how to prepare it. And today I will be teaching us on how to prepare ofen sala soup, otherwise known as white soup. Stay tuned. I will be right back after this short break.
You're welcome back from that short break. I will be teaching us on how to prepare ofe nsala, white soup. Ofe nsala is a delicacy peculiar to the Igbo tribe of Nigeria, especially the people of Anambra State. Ofe nsala is known as white soup because palm oil is not used for the preparation, unlike other traditional soup. While it is traditionally made with catfish, or you can also make use of chicken. Now, let me take us down on the ingredients to use for ofe nsala. Our number one ingredient for ofe nsala soup is 1 fresh fish. Number 2 is 2 habanero rodo. Adjust it to your preference. 2 slices of yam. Let it be well cooked and pounded, or you can use potato or poundo. 1 tablespoon of red pepper, flaked or dry pepper. 2 tablespoons of ground crayfish. 1½ cup of well chopped onions. 2 to 3 tablespoons of ogiri. You can also use iru, our locust beans. 1 teaspoon of utazi leaves, fresh parsley, or you can use both. ½ teaspoon of usasi seeds or leaves. 3 ehuru, calabash nutmeg seeds of about ½ teaspoon. ½ teaspoon of uda seeds, seasoning powder or cubes, that is your Maggi, salt to taste. Now let me take us down on how to prepare the ofe nsala soup, our white soup. Number 1 first step on how to prepare ofe nsala soup is prepare the thickener. You peel the yam, cut it into chunks, then boil it until it is soft. Pound the yam. You can use a blender or it can be processed with a mortar and pestle. You make sure you set the pounded yam, you set it aside somewhere. Make sure your pounded yam is not too thick so that it will dissolve easily. Number 2 step on how to prepare our white soup, our ofe nsala. Cut the fish into pieces. You slice it, remove the guts, then clean it very well. For easy cleaning, you can pour hot water over the fish for a few minutes, for about 5 minutes, for all the dirt to come out. Number 3 step on how to prepare the ofe nsala soup is place the catfish in a big pot and cover it with water depending on how big your pot is. Start with about 3 cups, then add more if you need to afterward. Season it with seasoning powder or cube, chopped onions, salt, and cook for about 10 minutes depending on how big is your fish until it is almost done. Number 4 on how to prepare our ofe nsala soup. Drown me your spices. What do I mean by that? Your ehuru, uda, uziza, rodo. Sieve the spices after grinding to remove any chunk spices. Also, chop the locust beans, our iru. Chop it or pound it. It is left on how you want it to be done. Pound it, then add it to the fish with the spices and pepper. Number 6 step, continue the cooking. Then throw in the thickener, the pounded yam paste, then shake. Shake it so well. You make sure you shake it together. Make sure you don't break the fish apart. Season with seasoning powder and salt. Don't forget, keep it in mind that you've added some seasoning to the fish before. Allow the thickener dissolves and the fish is fully cooked. Don't forget, you might add your chicken, you might add your beef. It depends on what you want. After your crayfish, your dry fish, your catfish, chicken, beef, you can even add more. It depends on the protein you want. Add the utazi, the 7th step on how to prepare ofe nsala. Add the utazi and parsley. You might use the parsley or use the utazi, or you use both together. Add it, then check the seasoning and taste it if necessary. Then it is ready to be served. Now our ofe nsala white soup is ready to be served. You can eat the ofe nsala soup with any swallow of your choice. You can eat it with fufu, with eba. You can even eat it with your pounded yam, with semovita, with wheat or hamala. I'm sure we are all salivating right now for our ofe nsala soup. Here is where I will be drawing a curtain on today's Kitchen Corner segment on Breakfast Tray. I remain Tolulope Ajanaku. Join me next week, Saturday, for another beautiful edition of Kitchen Corner on Breakfast Tray. Breakfast Tray continues. Bye for now.
Tolu, you just won an applause from me. Just one. I mean, I so much like the way she makes me feel like, okay, enough of the story, Tolu. Let's get to action. Because I can't wait. I am salivating too much. No.
Bread don't be food for monkey.
Why are you interrupting me? I'm talking about that kind of soup.
I will want to bring you down to reality.
What reality?
They don't eat it in your village.
I thought you wanted to talk about the cost.
What cost?
The cost.
What cost?
What it will cost to
prepare
get prepared. And I will tell you that we are rich where I came from.
You have a face where you came from.
No,
where you came from.
It's not our indigenous soup. It's from Delta State. Is that not?
You want to?
But we have the money. We have the money. I will just don't worry. Leave that one between Tolu and myself.
Okay, maybe what we'll start doing now is Tolu will start preparing the food in
the soup, right? Okay.
At least we'll have a bite of what she's.
No matter any amount of money, tell her to come and collect the money from me.
Much sweeter.
Tell her,
guy.
I would like to take it every day.
Slow down.
I would like to take it every day.
Slow down.
Tell her to come and collect the money from me.
Are you awake? Or you are still sleeping?
Me? What is it? How much are we talking about? Tell her to come and collect the money from me.
Oh. It's not a way do. It's not Begiri. It's not okra soup.
If I want to surprise you now, I'll just give her a call to
prepare.
I'll send money to her.
No, send it to me. Send the money through me. Maybe with 25,000 or 30,000 should be done. I have a pot of ofensela soup.
Are we gonna eat it for a whole year?
See your life. I said 20,000 to start off. You are getting cold feet.
Ordinary soup.
How much is it? You call ofensela as ordinary soup. I told you it's not Begiri. It's not a wedu. It's not abulao.
That's why I asked you, are we eating it for a whole year?
No. For 2 days.
For 2 days. Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's a cool one.
So
25,000 naira.
I said between 25 and 30.
Let's just take 25k.
Let's take 30k.
30k in 2 days.
Transport fare too.
We just put it inside our stomach.
You put it through your ears and
the third day we are looking for a fresh one.
You want it?
Another 30k, right?
That's what those people are eating. No, I'm telling you.
30k inside pot. 30k. Inside pot.
Which one is 30k inside pot? Why the emphasis?
No, after 2-3 days, we look for another 30k.
And now
that's a cool one. I like that. I like that.
At the end of the month.
How much at the end of just soup inside pot, right?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
No, it has.
And you'll be able to collect that money from me.
Sharply. I'll not even collect. I'll send you my account details. You transfer. Who's collecting money again from Ghana?
What are we talking about? In a month?
Not month, 2 days.
No, I'm saying if we take it like 10 times in a month.
How we want to do that? I'm joking. I'm just joking. If I 20,000, bring your BP down. Then let it go low. All right. Bring her wants you to face her.
I feel
so when you are in for it.
Yes. So let's go and collect the money
from
me.
She's in for it. No, don't worry. I'll give you my account details. You send the money through me to
Your
her.
name is not Tolu.
T.
Your name is Toyin.
Toyin.
No, it was Tolu's voice we heard now, not your voice.
Okay. I'm a boss. So you send through me. I'll send through to our boss, then it gets you to her. All right, it's been a wonderful one on the program today.
Yeah.
We have only 1 hour because of another program coming up at 10 to 10:30.
I would have loved to stay further, but we've got to go.
Yeah, sorry we couldn't bring you beauty tips, we couldn't bring you etiquette and business trend. God willing, next week those ones will be played to your listening pleasure. I want to thank all those that have contributed on the program today. Elijah brought us Foreign Corner. Belikis brought us Verse Pop. We have Shade on Entertainment Gist and Tuilokwe, who wanted to scatter Benga's head here.
I'm impressed with that soup.
No wonder.
I like it.
No wonder. By the time she brings another one next week, you'll be impressed with that one
and
too.
She mentioned Rodo. I like the way she said our Iru. She mentioned that sounds like it's going to be quite pepperish.
I've eaten this morning. You have not eaten. Well, sorry. She does scupper your head this morning with a face salad. No worry. Thanks to executive producer Dupe Akinyemi. Mama Nurse, Sissy Nurse.
Sissy Nurse.
Ajojo
has
been our audio officer.
And some people be thinking she's a nurse, so The way we always call her, she's in us.
And let them call
they
her.
think she's a nurse. That she holds the injection.
And let them call her after to come and get them. All right. My name is Oluwatoyin Ojayemi.
Yes. And I'm her handsome husband.
And Mama, don't be qualifying yourself as handsome.
A handsome looking husband of Toyin. Her name is Toyin Ojayemi Famino. My name is Oluwagbemiga Tetukumbo Papa Famino.
Okay, we are still in Britain. By the time you wake up,
I wake
up, in Nigeria and in your bed. Family is included my name. My name is Oluwatoyin.
This one you keep talking about, Joe. I keep warning you. Be careful.
What?
All right. Okay.
If they should come and carry me, I'm going to have a nice time.
It's been another lovely day, another lovely time. Breakfast Tray Magazine Radio Show. Till we come your way same time
next week, God willing. Do have a blessed weekend.
Breakfast Tray on OSBC Radio. 104.5 FM is the people's show. Our breakfast tray filled with good delicacies. For your consumption, we assure you of no doubt.